The anomalous natural events of the past week, from April 9th to 15th, have become yet another alarming sign that the familiar global order is beginning to collapse. Where there should be spring warmth this time of year, it's snowing. And in regions where it's usually still cool, summer heat has set in. Entire cities are suffering from hurricane-force winds, people are choking on dust storms, and sudden frosts are destroying future crops. Hundreds of homes destroyed, lives lost, millions affected. You'll get the full story in the report, coming up right now. Russia. On April 13th, severe weather reached the Primorsky Krai in Russia. In the Lazovsky district, up to 44 millimeters of precipitation fell over 12 hours. But the greatest damage was caused by hurricane-force winds. In Vladivostok, wind speeds reached 29 meters per second, and at the Capes of Peter the Great Bay, they reached up to 39 meters per second. The storm tore off roofs, uprooted fences, and knocked down trees and road signs, blocking traffic. Building facades were damaged, and around 9,000 people were left without electricity. Once again, this year, Siberia is facing unseasonable, abnormal heat. Starting on April 12th, temperature records were broken in the southern regions of the area, surpassing long-standing records, some of which had stood for decades. In the village of Shamal on April 13th, an abnormal temperature was recorded. The air warmed up to 31.7 degrees Celsius, nearly 22 degrees higher than the climate norm for this time of year. Such values previously seemed completely unthinkable. For the first time in the history of meteorological observations, 30-degree heat arrived in Siberia so early, in the first half of April. The abnormal warmth persisted even during the night. For example, in Omsk on April 11th, the temperature did not drop below plus 13 degrees Celsius, whereas typically during this period, the region experiences steady negative temperatures. On April 12th and 13th, new temperature records were set in Novosibirsk. Thermometers rose to plus 26 degrees Celsius. Notably, the temperature has been exceeding the climate norm here since the end of March. On April 14th, Abakan set a daily record, surpassing the previous maximum by 6.5 degrees Celsius. Stunned by the unusual heat, people took to the streets in t-shirts and shorts, taking photos against the backdrop of nature still in slumber. Bare trees and ice-covered bodies of water. At the same time as the scorching weather in Siberia, an unexpected cold snap settled in the south of Russia. In Krasnodar Krai, Stavropol, and Adygea, where just recently there had been nearly summer-like warmth up to plus 20 degrees Celsius, the temperature suddenly dropped and snow fell. In the Republic of Adygea, in some areas, snowdrifts reached an incredible 36 centimeters, which is extremely unusual for this region. The unexpected frosts that swept through the southern and central regions of the country led to significant losses in agriculture. It is expected that crop losses for fruits such as apricots, peaches, and cherries could reach as much as 40%. South Korea. Under the influence of a cyclone from the north, the weather in South Korea also changed dramatically. On April 12th, temperatures in several regions were approaching plus 25 degrees Celsius. But by the next day, a sudden cold snap set in. In Seoul, the morning temperature was recorded at just plus 1.1 degrees Celsius, and due to the biting wind, it felt like minus 2.4 degrees Celsius. In addition, the capital region was covered by a thick cloud of dust, carried by winds from the desert areas of China and Mongolia. However, the most surprising and shocking event for the residents of Seoul was the snowfall in mid-April. Such a late snowfall had not been recorded in 118 years of meteorological observations. In addition to the sharp cold, snap, rain, and unexpected snowfall, the cyclone brought hurricane-force winds of up to 30 meters per second to several cities. The strong gusts uprooted trees, toppled advertising structures, and posed a serious threat to both pedestrians and drivers. China. Starting on April 10th, China came under a powerful onslaught of severe weather. Vast areas of the country were hit by devastating storms, accompanied by gale-force winds, sandstorms, and heavy rains with hail. The northern regions of China took the brunt of the severe weather. Across the country, nearly 500 meteorological stations recorded wind speeds that broke previous April records. The most significant destruction occurred in the provinces of Hebei and Henan. Here, wind gusts reached force 15, exceeding 46 meters per second, 46 meters per second. Torn off rooftops, window frames ripped out by the wind, streets covered in debris, downed power lines, shattered glass, and all kinds of wreckage. Total chaos reigned in these cities. A wind gust of 45.8 meters per second was recorded in Beijing, equivalent to a Category 2 tropical hurricane. More than 800 large trees were uprooted in the city, and hundreds of vehicles were damaged or destroyed. Residents weighing less than 50 kilograms were officially advised not to go outside. The wind gusts could quite literally lift them off the ground. The rampaging storm severely disrupted the country's transportation system. Over 3,200 flights were cancelled, and train services, including high-speed lines, were suspended. Powerful winds triggered massive sandstorms. Inner Mongolia, Xinjiang, Ningxia, Gansu Province, and other regions were engulfed in a dense yellow haze. The sky was completely hidden beneath a veil of dust. Visibility dropped to near zero, and the concentration of particles in the air reached extreme levels. According to eyewitnesses, people were even forced to sleep wearing masks. The storm then rapidly moved south and east across China, leaving destruction and chaos in its wake. New regions came under attack, facing the full force of nature's fury. In Anhui province, a woman riding an electric bicycle was killed when a tree fell on her. Her injuries proved fatal. In Nanjing, Jiangsu province, a sudden and intense hailstorm damaged numerous vehicles, infrastructure, and agricultural crops. And in the Nanchang area, Jiangxi province, air pollution levels caused by the dust storm exceeded the WHO's recommended limit by 82 times. Such extreme readings are extremely rare for this region. India. Northern India was struck by a devastating storm, bringing tragic consequences. In just one day, torrential rains, flooding, and lightning strikes claimed the lives of at least 102 people. The highest number of fatalities was recorded in Bihar state, where 82 people lost their lives to the storm. Due to shortcomings in the emergency warning system, the alert about the approaching storm did not reach residents of remote villages. People were caught off guard while working in the fields, unaware of the impending danger. Unfortunately, this was the main cause of such a high death toll. The storm caused significant damage to the region's infrastructure and energy networks. The storm and dust storm that hit Delhi disrupted operations at Indira Gandhi International Airport. Many flights were cancelled or delayed, leaving thousands of passengers stranded. The powerful storm also hit neighboring Nepal, where lightning strikes and heavy rains claimed the lives of at least 8 people. Tajikistan. A strong earthquake with a magnitude of 5.9 was recorded on April 13th in the Rasht district of Tajikistan. Hundreds of buildings were damaged, and 94 residential houses were reduced to rubble. Unfortunately, the tragedy claimed the life of a 3-year-old child who was buried under the collapsed wall of a house. Within 24 hours, the earthquake was followed by 4 aftershocks, each with a magnitude of over 3. The seismic tremors were also felt in neighboring countries, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. Turkey. A powerful cold front brought sudden temperature drops, snowstorms, and gale-force winds to more than 25 provinces of the country. In the city of Aksaray, the temperature quickly dropped from plus 26 degrees Celsius to minus 3 degrees Celsius in just a few days. Istanbul found itself at the epicenter of the storm's impact. The gale-force winds tore off roofs, uprooted trees, and sharp gusts disrupted air traffic. Planes at both airports in the city were unable to land, risking running out of fuel before reaching critical levels. In Ankara, the capital of Turkey, snow fell overnight, covering the city in a white blanket, while wind gusts reached 60 kilometers per hour. The central and western regions of Anatolia were literally buried under snow. In the Ala district of Kastamonu province, by April 13th, snowdrifts exceeded half a meter, and in mountain villages they approached 80 centimeters. Snow-covered roads became traps for vehicles, disrupting traffic and isolating entire settlements. The country's most important agricultural regions were affected. In some areas, thermometers dropped to -15 degrees Celsius. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, the country experienced one of the most devastating frosts in history. Hazelnuts, which are Turkey's main export product, were particularly hard hit. This commodity generates about $2 billion annually for Turkey, and the country holds a leading position in hazelnut production, accounting for 3/4 of the global supply. In Malatya province, late frosts destroyed a significant portion of the apricot harvest. The damage is estimated in the hundreds of millions of dollars. In Manisa, more than 75% of the vineyards were ruined by the cold. Walnut, almond, sunflower, potato, and ornamental plant crops were also severely affected by the frost.
Başta Saruhanlı, Turgutlu, Salihli,
Iraq. On April 14th, the southern and central regions of the country were affected by a powerful dust storm that came from the north of Saudi Arabia. The day turned into near total darkness. In some areas, visibility dropped to zero. This caused road accidents and temporarily paralyzed operations at several international airports. However, the most severe impact of the dust storm was on public health. In just one day, over 3,700 people sought medical attention in hospitals with complaints of suffocation and breathing difficulties. Some of them, including children, required urgent hospitalization. Neighboring countries, Iran and Kuwait, were also affected by the storm. On April 15th, in Khuzestan province of Iran, the level of air pollutants smaller than 10 micrometers, reached such high levels that in some areas it exceeded the permissible limit by 67 times. In Kuwait, wind gusts exceeding 80 kilometers per hour led to power outages in several areas. Today, as more and more people personally face the escalating natural disasters and anomalies, the information field is still filled with distorted data and misleading misinformation. The media fail to reveal the true causes of the increasing frequency of natural disasters. They sidestep key facts and avoid discussing the most important issue, that there is already a real solution capable of not only slowing down the growing chaos, but also preventing further negative developments. Instead, we continue to be soothed with phrases like, "This has happened before," "There's no reason to panic yet," "The situation is under control." Such excuses could once be easily ignored, but not anymore. The risk of underestimating the situation today is too great. We are talking about the future of all humanity. Why, despite the obvious, do so many people still believe these fairy tales? Do they really think this won't affect them? Are they living on another planet? After all, everyone has loved ones, families, children. A reasonable person, upon learning of a threat, would pass on the information and look for a way out. If we want to protect life on this planet, we must stop ignoring the obvious and begin speaking directly about the real danger. Global geological and climate changes, the processes occurring deep within the Earth. Many people believe their actions won't make a difference, but that's not true. The actions of each of us determine the future of billions of people, including those we hold especially dear.